Welcome to Get Brick. Today we're checking out set 76169, also known as Thor's Mech Armor. Let's jump into it. And here he is in all of his glory. We've got Thor's completed mech armor. Now again, this is set 76169. It has 139 pieces and includes one minifigure, which of course is going to be Thor. Now right away you'll notice very similar in the design of the minifigure and the mech armor itself, very similar in the chest, and of course they both have their own hammer as well. Now I love the look of these two together, very reminiscent of the Iron Man set that we reviewed in our first video for the channel actually. Now if you take a look at the two of them together, very well done, and I love the helmet that they include with Thor. And for the figure itself and like for the armor, both look really nice, very much done up in a very similar kind of style. It's interesting that they included the red on the back there to give him kind of like a cape look, even though the minifigure didn't come with a cape at all. But we can go ahead and we can pop the hammer off his hand. We can actually just open up the chest here. Now it is limited on the motion you can do because of the piece there. It's got a point there, but we can just pop in the minifigure. His legs just kind of slot in there. Close up the chest, and there he is with the armor on. Now they actually did include a spot, if you move his shoulder out of the way here, they included a spot where you can include the mini hammer and just throw it on there, throw the Mjolnir onto his leg, which is a nice little touch that they gave you a way of storing it. Personally, I just wish they would have included some way that it could slot into the bigger hammer, like it's powering it essentially. But the figure itself looks really good. It is very well articulated, mostly because of all the ball joints that it has. If you take a look here, we've got the swivel in the waist, limited by the peg there. But then we've got full range of motion, of course, in the ankle, knee, and hip. Full range of motion there because of all the ball joints that it includes. And then we've got ball joints in the arms as well. We got a couple there in the shoulder, a couple in the upper arm, and then some around where the wrist would be. And the hammer that you can get with the large armor, you can actually slot it into either hand. Both of them have this the piece in the palm that you can actually just kind of slot the hammer into. So a nice little touch that you can interchange it on both hands. But let's take a closer look at some of the better details. Now we'll move it in close and we'll take a look at the minifigure first. Now, I do like the print that they have for the front and back of the torso. It's just a shame that there's no other prints, none on the arms or on the legs. But I like the look with the black and dark grays and the lighter grays coming throughout the figure. And the torso print that they did include, at least it is a nicely detailed print. We get the silver showing up and the yellow around the circles and a little bit of blue work on there. And then we also get the red, kind of like signifying as if he was wearing his cape or a cloak of some kind. It's just a shame that they didn't include an actual cloak piece. I know he's going to be going into the mech armor, but it would have been nice to have that as just an additional feature of the set. But if you take a closer look at the print itself, you can see some silver line work that kind of shows up better when the light hits it at certain angles. Sometimes it's very, very hard to notice it, but then you turn it just slightly and you'll be able to see the shine on it picking up that nice line work that they have. Now, if we move up to the head, I do love the helmet that they included with Thor. Very similar to the one he wears when he's in Thor Ragnarok for the MCU movies. I'm sure modeled after a set from one of the comics. Unfortunately, I've never read the comics, so I'm not sure if this is a specific generation, but I love the look of it overall, and it definitely gives it a little bit more to the head of the character when he's in the mech suit, making it more like he's kind of armored up while he's in there as well. Now with Thor, we do get two prints for the headpiece. The first face is very much just like a relaxed face, maybe a little bit of a smirk sneaking in there. But of course, on the other side, they've got his Thunder God face, where he's got the electricity coming out from around his eyes and a bit more of a scowl on his face, like he's grimacing like he's in the fight. And last but not least, of course, his accessory that he includes is his trusty hammer, known as Mjolnir. Definitely showing that he's truly worthy to be able to wield the hammer. Which brings us to the mech armor itself. Now, I love the look of this one because it definitely matches the style of the minifigure. Very similar in the coloring. We get the black and the lighter and darker grays throughout, bringing it together very similar to what the outfit for Thor is with the minifigure. But I love that they included a little bit of additional detailing with the blue on the limbs, similar to some of the blue on the torso of the minifigure. And then we've got a little bit of the brown and some gold peeking through on the figure. We get the waist, some brown on the legs, and a little bit of brown on the shoulders as well. Now, turning it around to the back of the mech armor, you'll see that it does have the red coloring there, mainly on the back, and a couple of flat pieces on the arms as well. I'm pretty sure they did that just to kind of bulk it up and make it look a little bit more imposing, kind of matching the cloak that Thor would normally wear in his outfit. But it's an odd choice for me, not my first choice, but I can understand why they would have done that. Now with the mech armor, of course, its accessory is a giant hammer. I guess you could call it a giant form of Mjolnir. And like I touched on before, it's just a shame that they didn't find a way of kind of like slotting in or fitting in the smaller hammer into it. That would have been a great touch to just give some more weight behind some of the hits that you're landing with it. But I like that it's interchangeable. You can swap it between the hands, and it does slot in with a peg on the palm of the hand, so it's very secure when it's in there. And because I didn't apply any of the stickers to it, we do lose a little bit of the quality on like the effect that they were going for. I like the blue translucent pieces, the 1x2 bricks. I like the look of it. The sizing of it is pretty good. But because I didn't include the stickers on it, it does lose a little bit of the sizing of like the metal for the hammer itself. I guess you could just, simulate it as if like the blue translucent pieces is just an electric field that's been built up on either end of the hammer. But I like the look of it even without having the stickers applied to it. So overall, this minifigure and mech armor, they're really great together. You can get some interesting poses out of them. We'll show off a couple of the poses I was able to get them into, doing some attacks and doing some jumping attacks and things like that. But overall, the figure and the mech armor do look good together. It'll be a great addition to my mech collection. I'm pretty sure there are a few more of these characters in like mech armors available. So I'm going to keep an eye out and see if we can find a few more of those for you guys to check out with me. But let me know in the comments down below, what was your favorite part of this set? Or is there a character you'd love to see in this mech suit kind of style? I know there's a few available, so I'll have to keep an eye out and see if we can't find a few of those. But leave that in the comments and make sure you guys like and subscribe. And don't forget to get the bell on, because then of course you get to stay up to date whenever we release new videos. Now before you put the hammer down, just be sure to tell everyone that you just got bricked.